Hare Krishna, everyone, and welcome to the Sravan Utsav session. And we're just continuing on the Krishna book, and we are up to chapter 48 now. Very close, is almost like halfway through the Krishna book, right? As you all know, this is actually explanation from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So far we had beautiful lectures from various senior devotees, and the today's topic is also quite exalted. I'm not sure how much justification I can do, but bear with me if I make many mistakes, and please do point out if there are any, right? So with that, so we'll start with the prayers for invoking auspiciousness, and then we'll continue with the topic for today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadojayam Udiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttamasloke bhaktir bhavati naisthiki. All right. Okay. So now I can see everyone. All right. Yesterday, Pundrikaksha Prabhuji very beautifully explained. It's also called Brahmara Gita. Brahmara Gita means the song of the honeybee, the bumblebee, right? And today we're actually going to continue from there, and it's chapter 48, as I said earlier. The title of this chapter is Kṛṣṇa Pleases His Devotees. Okay, and today we'll be covering two broad topics. One is Krishna remembers and pleases his devotees. That's one topic. And the second topic is going to be how devotees offer their prayers to Krishna. Okay, and then from there we will see what is the power of the prayers, and if we can learn anything from the prayers that that the pure devotees offer to the Lord. If we can learn anything, and then if we can make our own prayer, nothing like it, right? So it's going to be very interesting. Just please be attentive. And when we come to the second topic, it would be good if we can take notes, because this information is compiled from various sources. So I guess it would be very useful if you want to, if you are if you have any eagerness to come up with your own prayer, right? So with that, let's start. So as I was saying earlier, like last night, we had Brahmar Gita from Pundrikaksha Prabhuji, and Prabhuji very beautifully explained, the transcendental envy that the gopis expressed, right? So there is a lot of difference between transcendental envy and material envy. So the material envy we are in the center and our sense gratification in the center. We are envious because we are not able to enjoy that others are enjoying, right? Whereas transcendental enjoyment is Krishna is in the center, right? Where we are trying to satisfy Krishna or satisfy Krishna's senses, right? And we are feeling envious that we are not able to satisfy Krishna. So that is totally different. Okay, so that is the transcendental envy that gopis were facing. And in Krishna, in his message also, he actually clearly expressed, saying that I'm actually staying away so that, I want to increase the intensity of the love for me, right? So he wanted to increase that intensity of love. I mean, this is not the first time. Krishna also expressed this when during the Trinavarta pastime as well. If you remember, Trinavarta was the whirlwind demon, and when Trinavarta came and lifted the little Krishna, lifted up into the air, Mother Yashoda couldn't find Krishna, and she was so she became so panic, and then she was so pitifully crying, right? And as soon as Krishna came down, by killing the demon, and she was like, giving him hugs, kisses, and like, all that mothers can understand. Mothers or fathers, like, when the child goes through a distress and then suddenly we find them, right? We give them a big, very strong hug, and we wipe their face and then check the body if there are any injuries. We're so like anxious to see if they're okay, or my kid is okay or not. So that's what Mother Yashoda was actually showing towards Krishna, right? And I was just imagining, like, if Mother Yashoda, I'm just trying to compare, that love and normal love and intense love, right? The difference between these two. Say, for example, Mother Yashoda already know that Krishna is the little Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? So as soon as Trinavarta picked him up, oh, okay, that's another demon, picked Krishna, he will come back later, no problem. I can, in the meantime, I can go and prepare bhoga for Krishna, right? So it's not a big deal. And as soon as Krishna comes down, killing Trinavarta, and as soon as he comes down, Mother Yashoda, have you played enough, right? What took you so long? Why didn't you kill him? Do you have to fly? Well, you could have killed him on the ground itself, right? It's quite different, right? That love there, and love in separation, like, when Mother Yashoda couldn't find, and then she wanted to she was crying for him and all that. So there's a lot of difference there. And Krishna, whenever he does pastimes, actually he wanted to increase that intensity of love, right? So that's what we have seen yesterday, that gopis are actually intense, are expressing their intense love for Krishna. Narada Muni, in his Bhakti Sutra, Bhakti Sutras number 82, if you happen to read that book, actually this is verse number 82. He was actually explaining 11 forms of devotional service. So devotional service is one, but it can be expressed in 11 different ways. Okay, so different ways are, so I'll just read out the translation from that verse. Although devotional service is one, it becomes manifested in 11 forms of attachment. Attachment to the Lord's glorious qualities. So that is Guna Mahatmya Asakti. Okay, so Asakti towards Guna Mahatmya, qualities of the Lord. And attachment towards his beauty, Rupa Asakti, attachment to worship him, Puja Asakti, and attachment to remembering him all the time, so that is Smarana Asakti, and to serve him, Dasya Asakti, and to reciprocating with him as a friend, Sakhya Asakti, and to care for him as a parent, Vatsalya Asakti, and to deal with him as a love, so that is Kanta Asakti, to surrender one's whole self to him, so Atma Nivedana Asakti, and to being absorbed in thought of him, so that means total absorption in thoughts. So there's nothing else we are thinking of except to satisfy Krishna, right? So Tanmaya Asakti, and finally expressing separation from Krishna, experiencing separation from Krishna, that is Parama Viraha Asakti. And the last statement is, the last is the supreme attachment. So the last one is experiencing separation from Krishna is the supreme attachment. So of all the 11 forms of devotional attachments, the separation, experiencing separation from Krishna is the supreme attachment. That's what Narada Muni. So Narada Muni is the authority on bhakti, right? So he is actually clarifying that point. Okay. So what happens is that, we often misinterpret when we see Krishna's pastimes. Oh, Krishna is a thief. He went around all the houses and he stole butter. He stole clothes of gopis. He made gopis cry. He left Vrindavan and then he didn't even care for them. right? And he made Mother Yashoda cry so many times, all these things. But see, what we need to understand is the expressions that we see outside are different from Krishna's actual intention. So if we see from Krishna's point of view, just for example, in Gopi's case or Mother Yashoda's case, so Krishna actually wanted to intensify the love towards him, right? So that's what his intention is. Okay, so that's what we are going to see today also in today's topic, that Kubja, if you remember, Kubja's case. Kubja was the hunchback girl whom Krishna met as soon as he entered Mathura. As Krishna entered Mathura, he was actually walking on the street. He, Balaram, himself, Balaram, and all the Gopabalas, as they were walking, this Kubja, the hunchback lady, looking at the beautiful forms of Krishna and Balaram, she came onto the road, and then she offered sandalwood pulp to them, right? And she actually applied sandalwood pulp with affection to Krishna's body, right? And at that time, Krishna actually made a promise that Kubja actually she invited Krishna. So we'll come to that pastime. So what happened is that, continuing from yesterday. So Uddhava went to Vrindavan, and then now he came back to Mathura. And for days together, Krishna and Uddhava were discussing about, what has happened in Vrindavan. And Krishna was asking about how are gopis, how are Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and other relatives, right? And he was relieved to hear that, that all the Vrajvasis are actually found solace, after hearing the message from Krishna, right? So he was a little relieved now. And and then after a few days after Uddhava came back, and now Krishna wanted to actually visit Kubja's house, right? That hunchback lady, girl's house. So just coming back to that pastime. So when Kubja applied sandalwood pulp to Krishna's body, so Krishna wanted to do something to her, for her. And then what he did is actually, he put his toe on her feet, and then he held her cheeks, and then just lifted. So immediately, that hunchback lady, she became straight, and then she became most beautiful as well. Okay, so that's the immediate benediction that Krishna has given to her. But what happened at that time, she developed a lusty desire towards Krishna, right? She wanted to spend time with Krishna, and she invited Krishna to come to her house. But then Krishna very politely and very with a smile, with sweet words, actually he said, I can't come now. But I'll come back when my other business is done. So saying that, he left. So now that everything is settled, Krishna actually wanted to go back to visit her. And in the meantime, also Kubja was actually at that time she developed that lusty desire, and her desire actually has been intensified. So she kept on thinking about Krishna. And Krishna, being Paramatma in everyone's heart, so he could sense that Kubja was calling him. So Krishna, along with Uddhava, now they went to Kubja's house, and and as soon as they entered, Kubja actually very affectionately invited both of them. And she offered a seat to Krishna, and made him sit. And she offered a seat to Uddhava as well. But Uddhava, having known his position, actually he kindly rejected it, and he touched the seat and sat at Krishna's feet, near Krishna's feet. So what we need to understand from this is that, when we are accompanying senior devotees, our spiritual masters, our maharajas, right? Oftentimes we may be offered seats, but we should not. We should. I mean, we should not offend the host. So by touching the seat, actually, it's as if we are accepting it. But knowing our position, we'll actually sit at the feet of our senior devotees, right? That we can learn from there. And then Krishna, as soon as they made him sad, and Krishna very rushingly he entered in. They as they were actually entering, they could see that house was fully decorated, and that decoration was very. Actually, what happened is Kubja, once she became beautiful, actually she has become a society girl. So in the modern terms, we call it a prostitute, right? And the house where she was living, they have decorated the house such a way that anyone enters, it will actually invoke lusty desires. Like the pictures they hanged, and the garlands, the flower garlands, the lighting, the beds, so seating and everything, right? So they were seeing all that. And here we may think that why is Krishna going to this place? Is he actually trying to satisfy his easy after sense gratification, right? But actually acharyas explain, in fact Sukadev Goswami explains, right? See, Krishna's senses were already satisfied when Kubja offered sandal pulp on the road, right? When he was entering Mathura, at that time itself, Krishna was happy. Krishna was already satisfied, right? So now, what Krishna was actually trying to do is that on the plea of the sense gratification, he actually wanted to go visit Kubja, and he wanted to deliver her. He wanted to turn her into a pure devotee, right? I mean. If Krishna is after sense gratification, he doesn't need to come here. He in Brahma Samhita, it is said that Lakshmi Sahasra Sat Sambrama Sevyamanam. So Krishna is actually served by hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis in Goloka Vrindavan, right? He doesn't need to come here. So what he's actually trying to do is that actually he's trying to turn her into a pure devotee. So we'll see how Krishna has done that. And Krishna, he doesn't discriminate, right? So Krishna is kind to everyone, right? So that's why he even though Kubja was a society girl, right? He still decided to go to her house. It is said that the moon does not withhold that shining from the cold head of a crooked person, right? So the moonshine, right? It doesn't discriminate, where that the shine goes to. It goes to the devotee's house the same way, and crooked person's house also the same way. Likewise, similarly, Krishna's transcendental mercy is never denied to anyone who has rendered service unto him, right? So that even with lust or anger or fear or pure love, right? As long as we serve Krishna, he reciprocates. Right, so that's what we should remember. Like any small service also that we have done for Krishna, he remembers and he reciprocates. Right. So Krishna and now they entered, and as soon as they were actually offered to sit, they sat down, and Krishna he immediately rushed into one of the bedrooms there. And in the meantime, Kubja actually went to take bath, and she put on nice garments, nice ornaments and everything. And then she came back, and she was feeling shy to come in, right? And Krishna, what he has done, he actually pulled her by holding her hand, and then she made her sit next to him. Here, actually, in 10:48:11, Sukadev Goswami very beautifully explains, right? It is very, very difficult to approach Lord. It's not even possible for the greatest mystics, right? Greatest of the yogis. But Kubja got this opportunity just because she offered sandal pulp to the Lord with affection, right? Just because of that. And so in process, actually, what Kubja has done, like, she took the lotus feet of the Lord, and as she was about to press the Lord's feet, she could smell the fragrance of his feet. And as soon as she smelled that fragrance, immediately that lusty desire that she had has disappeared, right? So that lusty desire has gone, and and she has developed that the service attitude, the devotional attitude towards Krishna straight away. And now Kubja is actually qualified to engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So that's what Prabhupada actually explained. So in if we can remember, like in Bhagavad Gita 7.28, it is also said that persons who have acted piously in previous lives or in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are free from dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. That's what Krishna is saying, right? So what did Kubja has done? She actually offered sandal pulp to the Lord with affection. That's what she has done. See, at home, we have Lord in front of us in the deity form, right? If we have an opportunity to offer so many things to Lord every day, not just once a day, many times of the day, right? So imagine what we can get by serving the Lord. Right? And with that, Kubja has become purified, and and now with that desire is gone, Krishna embraced her and left her home along with Uddhava. So there are two. So actually, Acharyas suggest that we should look at this pastime from two levels. One level is that by directly associating with Lord, one becomes liberated from delusion. So that we have discussed already, right? So liberated from delusion means, like, delusion that we are this body, and our sense gratification is the highest. We are in the center. That delusion will be gone. We immediately come to the point that Krishna is in the center, and service to the Krishna is everything, right? With that delusion will be gone. First level we should understand. And the second is, we should not imitate and develop lusty desires towards Krishna. Right now, thinking that, Kubja actually developed a lusty desire towards Krishna and Krishna came. No, it should not be like that, right? Acharyas actually warn us that if we do that, we may become sahajiyas, right? We are not following, rather we are imitating. So we should rather follow the footsteps of pure devotees and imitate, follow what they are doing, not imitate blindly. Okay. And Acharyas also suggest, when we go to Krishna, we should not even ask to fulfill our material desires for sense gratification, right? If we are in distress, that is fine. But it should not become a habit that we go and ask Krishna for our material desires. Right? So that is a problem there. All right. So with that, I know that concludes. Sorry, the previously talked about was 10:48:11. I'll just read out the translation. It's a very beautiful one. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord of all lords, is ordinarily difficult to approach. One who has properly worshipped him and then chosen the benediction of mundane sense gratification is certainly of poor intelligence, for he is satisfied with an insignificant result. So that means if we are able to approach the Lord and ask for a mundane means material benediction, that was Sukadeva Goswami is saying that you are of poor intelligence, right? So don't do that. So that's what Sukadeva Goswami is saying. All right. So with that, we are done with the first section of the topic. Any questions?
Prabhuji, are you sharing any slides, Prabhuji?
No slides, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, then I'll go to here.
Sudharma Prabhu or Sudharma Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Nice one, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained up to now, part one. Prabhuji, my question is regarding Kubja's. She had when she offered the sandalwood pulp to Lord, did she not then also have a love and nice, like lusty. What do you call nicer way rather than a lusty one? She was always having the lusty desire, even when
Yes, Mataji. So first of all, she got attracted to them by looking at their beautiful forms. She got attracted to Lord Krishna and Lord Balram when she saw that they are so beautiful, right? I need to approach them. And as soon as she became beautiful, her lusty desire got intensified. Okay, so until then she was suppressing, and it just became intensified.
Okay, Babuji. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nitya Babuji?
You go first, Prabhu. It's okay, you go. You had your hand up first.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Bharadwaj Prabhu, so my question is around, the Kubja story. So you mentioned that we should not imitate blindly and we should follow in the footsteps. So, Kubja, when she offered the sandalwood fragrance to the Lord, he reciprocated by, becoming her chiropractor and beautician all in one, all right, making her straight and beautiful. But when she was attracted by them and when she was offering that sandalwood, she did not know that he was the Supreme Lord or they were the Supreme Lords, in front of her. And then even once they went away and she kept thinking about them, again, her lusty desire was not because they were the Supreme Lord. So, I guess if her devotion was not in bhakti, how do we understand that, someone so materially inclined got the Lord's favor? And also, how do we follow in Kubja's footsteps and not imitate? Because I'm not understanding where the devotion side of things came into this pastime from her.
Yes, actually, Sukadeva Goswami explained that already in that verse, Prabhuji. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, which one was it? Let me check. Oh, sorry, I didn't put the reference here, but I'll send the reference, Prabhuji, where sure. Sukadeva Goswami is explaining that just by offering sandalwood pulp with affection, right? Even though she has that lusty desire, right? Because she has offered it with affection to Krishna, she has actually earned a place next to him, right? So even though she had that material lusty desire, right? But because she actually offered with, same case with Putana as well, right? Even though Putana, her intention was to kill Krishna, but just for a moment's sake, she actually became, she had that feeling of motherly feeling. And because of that, she was elevated. So Krishna actually, that's what Krishna actually sees, even if there is a small dint of affection or devotion, he actually accepts and reciprocates. So how we should not imitate that means we should not intentionally develop lusty desires towards Krishna. Rather, we should focus on offering, patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, or whatever we are doing as an offering to Krishna, right? So with that, that's how we actually follow the footsteps now, rather than imitate blindly.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Nitya Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nice class so far, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, just one question. At the beginning, you spoke about material envy and spiritual envy. And you mentioned that, if I have noted down correctly, that material envy involves like disappointment when we can't personally enjoy. And spiritual envy involves when when Lord Krishna is unable to enjoy. So have I understood that correctly, Prabhu? Is that?
No, it's not Krishna. No. Okay, so material envy is where we are in the center, satisfying
Yes.
our senses is in the center,
Yes.
right? So we see somebody having a nice car. We are envious that we are not able to enjoy,
Yes.
right? So that is the material envy. But whereas in transcendental envy, we are envious because we are not able to serve Krishna. We are not able to satisfy Krishna. Other
Yeah.
devotees are doing it, but we are not able to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So that is
Yes.
so that's the intense separation. There is like, I'm not able to do it.
Yes. Yes.
So that is the difference.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Sudharma Prabhu, Sudharma Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I've got one more question, a reflection from what was asked before. So, when Krishna first touched Kubja, and touched her feet, and her back hunch was rectified, and she became beautiful. So there was a touch at the time as well, and later also when she touched Krishna's feet, that's when her lusty desires went away. So why this lusty desires even could have vanished even at the first touch when Krishna had, right, with her?
Yes.
It didn't happen.
Yes, Mataji. It is Krishna's mercy, Mataji. I don't know why Krishna hasn't been merciful at that time. I'm not sure, but definitely what I understand is that from the first pastime, when Krishna touched her, and to the next one, so her desires have become very intensified, right? She wanted to associate with Krishna more and more, so the intensity has gone up. And Krishna also came with the intention to deliver her, right? So Krishna, even though from outside it may look like he has went there to satisfy his but his intention was to purify her. So that's why as soon as even though in that pastime as well, Krishna actually touched her hand and pulled her. At that time also nothing happened. But when Krishna, when Kubja actually smelled the fragrance of his lotus feet, right, immediately the transformation happened.
Okay, maybe
similarly, if you can, if we remember Chatush Kumaras also, when they were actually arguing with Jaya and Vijaya, and when Lord came out, just by the fragrance of tulsi leaf on the lotus feet of the Lord, just that fragrance actually transformed them. Until then they were impersonalists, and suddenly immediately they transformed. So there must be something, that fragrance from the lotus feet of the Lord.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
There are no more
So if you have any questions, probably we'll take it towards the end. So we'll continue with the second part of this thing. So Krishna left from Kubja's house, and then after a few days later, Krishna along with Uddhava and along with Lord Balram and Uddhava, they have decided to go to Akrura's place, Akrura's house. The same thing happened with Akrura as well. When Akrura brought Krishna and Balram from Vrindavan, they actually requested Akrura to stop at the entrance of Mathura itself, Mathura city, at the entrance itself, and then they requested to Akrura to go by himself. But then at that time, Akrura actually requested, "Can you please come to my house? Please, please make that auspicious visit." But Krishna very politely rejected then also, saying that, I need to take care of some demons here, and as soon as I'm done, I'll come and visit. To fulfill his promise, Krishna, along with Balram now, they are actually going to Akrura's place. And and when they visited his house, as soon as Akrura saw them, he immediately, with folded hands, he invited them into the house, and he embraced Uddhava and paid obeisances to Lord Balram, Lord Krishna and Lord Balram. And he made Lord Krishna and Balram sit, offered a nice seating for them. And he actually offered, he made sure that they are comfortably seated, and he washed their feet and then sprinkled the water on Krishna's head, Then he offered nice clothing, nice flowers, sandalwood pulp, and as we do it in regular worship, right? So in deity worship, in home deity worship, we only offer 5 items, but in temples, they do much more. So this is what is the intention, when we're actually doing Aarti, the intention is to actually invite the Lord, okay? Invite the Lord and accept our worship, accept our prayers, right? So how do we actually invite the Lord? So when the Lord comes in, so we actually, like Akrura has done, so wash the feet, sprinkle water on the head. It's like, offering water for Abhishekam, right? Offer nice clothing, flowers, sandalwood pulp, all these things, right? So that way he offered nice worship. And and Krishna and Balram and Uddhava, they were satisfied with Akrura's behavior now, with that humble attitude, that with humility he is serving. So they were very satisfied. And Akrura then took Krishna's feet on his lap. He sat at Krishna's feet, and he took his feet onto his lap, and he started massaging. And when Akrura was also fully satisfied, and there were tears in his eyes, and then he started offering prayers. Okay, so Akrura's prayers has special significance. If you remember Navavidha Bhakti, Prahlad Maharaj actually very nicely compiled that. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. So there are 9 devotional processes. So if we follow any one of them perfectly, right, any one of them, if we can follow successfully, we'll be successful in our spiritual life, right? So Akrura is very well known for his Vandanam. So Akrura was successful because of his prayers that he has offered to Krishna. And he has offered very beautiful prayers when Lord Krishna and Balram gave him darshan, on the way from Vrindavan to Mathura. And here also Akrura is actually offering beautiful prayers, right? So prayer, Acharyas actually explained, prayer is one of the quickest ways to grab attention of the Lord, right? When we pray with humility and with sincerity, right? As soon as we pray Krishna, we will get Krishna's attention, right? So that they say it's the quickest way. Okay, and our scriptures are actually filled with offers, filled with prayers offered by great devotees. Right? For example, in Bhagavad Gita also we get to see Arjuna praying to Krishna, and towards the end Sanjaya praying, offering prayers. And in Srimad Bhagavatam there are hundreds. At least so far I have managed to compile at least 110. There may be more, I might have missed out. Right, and the prayers were offered by great devotees, and those prayers actually satisfied the Lord. So they are proven, right? So we don't have to worry that, if this prayer was it fruitful or not? No, they are already proven, right? So all we need to do is we read these prayers and pick what is actually touching our heart and make it our prayer, right? And as we read these prayers, actually, we can identify some patterns. And Amrish Prabhuji actually explained in one of the JOSD sessions also the types of prayers, the elements of prayers. Each prayer will have a Sampradhanatmika prayer, a Dainya Bodhika, and the Lalsamai. So Sampradhanatmika means see, glorification of the Lord, right? So first of all, we need to glorify the Lord, right? So that's what we can see in all the prayers that are offered by pure devotees. They first start glorifying the Lord, right? So what can we glorify on? What is the topic for glorification, right? So first of all, we can glorify I mean, they're not in sequence. It's whatever touches your heart. We can pick that, right? We can glorify in any of these. So we can glorify in Lord's holy name, right? You know how powerful Lord's holy name is, right? If we can take Ajamila's case, right? Just by chanting Narayana towards end of his life, you know, Vishnu Dutas came and actually gave him second chance, right? And also in Sikshastakam, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually says, you know, Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. So he says that the Lord's holy name, in Lord's holy name, there is all good fortune for living entities, right? So every good fortune that we can find, it's actually in Lord's holy name, right? So that that's why, you know, in ISKCON temples we actually recite Sikshastakam every day, right? And other thing we can glorify on Lord's beauty. If you remember Kunti Maharani's prayers, right? So Namah Pankajanabhaya, Namah Pankajanabhaya, Namah Pankaja Namah Pankaja Netraya, Namah Pankajangraye. So she was actually glorifying the beauty of the Lord, right? My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with depression like lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. So she's comparing, you know, every part of the body of the Lord, you know, with the lotuses there, right? And also Madhurastakam, if you have heard Madhurastakam, written by Srila Vallabhacharya, very beautiful glorification of the Lord, right? So Adharam Madhuram, Nayanam Madhuram, Hasitam Madhuram, you know, it goes on like that. So very beautiful one. So likewise, you know, we can actually glorify the beauty of the Lord as well. And the other thing we can glorify is Lord's qualities, right? The qualities that Lord has. If you have heard Vishnu Sahasranam, and you know, if you look at individual words, there are 1,000 names in that. Many of the names actually are expressing the qualities of the Lord, right? Some of them express pastimes, most of them actually express the qualities of the Lord, right? In Bhagavatam 1.8.27, Kunti Devi also actually praying the qualities of the Lord. So this one is Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nivritta Guna Vrittaye Atma Ramamya Shantaye Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. So my obeisances unto you, who are the property of materially impoverished. So she's saying that, you know, Lord is the property of materially impoverished. Materially impoverished means like, you know, who has gotten rid of the material desires, right? You have nothing to do with actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. So Krishna doesn't come under the force of the material modes, and you are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and master of the monists, right? So these are the qualities of the Lord, various qualities of the Lord. So that's another way we can actually glorify the Lord, by the qualities of the Lord. And then we can also glorify the Lord by his pastimes, you know, various pastimes that Krishna has performed, you know, with in Vrindavan, in different incarnations, as Lord Nrsimha, with Prahlad, Lord Ramchandra, Lord Vamana, Lord Matsya, you know, so many pastimes are there. You know, whatever touches our heart, we can use that to glorify the Lord. And also, you know, most often we see many devotees actually praising the Lord's energies and activities. Energies and activities, as in like, you know, Lord, you are the actually root cause of everything. You are the Sarva Karana Karanam. And you have created this material universe. You have created all these gross elements and subtle elements. Everything is under your control. This creation, maintenance, and dissolution, everything happens as per your instructions, like, you know. So likewise, devotees actually glorify the Lord's energies and activities as well. Even in Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Krishna himself said that Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah. Janma karma. So whatever activities that Krishna is doing and the reason behind Krishna's appearance. So all these actually, if we understand philosophically why these things happen, why Krishna comes, so we'll never take birth again. Right? So there are many things that we can glorify the Lord on. So just to summarize, so we can glorify Lord's holy name, the power of the holy name, and Lord's beauty, Lord's qualities, Lord's pastimes, and Lord's energies and activities. So we can glorify any of them. So that is Sampradhanatmika prayer. So that is first part of Sampradhanatmika, where we are glorifying the Lord. Second one is, we also, as part of that, we also express our gratitude towards the Lord. Right, because because of his mercy only we are able to actually be here, right? So we should express our gratitude towards the Lord. So different devotees actually express their gratitude in different ways. For example, when we experience prosperity, Kunti Maharani again in her prayers, 1:839 in Srimad Bhagavatam, she was actually praising the Lord for all the prosperity she was given to Pandava's kingdom. She was saying, because of your presence in our kingdom, everything is prosperous. We see prosperity everywhere, but the moment you go, we don't know what's going to happen. Right, so she was actually glorifying the Lord because of the prosperity that she has gotten. And the second thing is, we can express our gratitude when we are in adversity. It may sound counterintuitive, right? Why should we pray to the Lord? Why should we show gratitude towards the Lord when we are in adversity, right? But if you see some examples from Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj. Right, Parikshit Maharaj, he was cursed by a Brahmana to die in 7 days. Right, so that was a great adversity for him. So what he was saying, he didn't actually blame the Brahmana boy, but his thought process was that it was a mercy of the Lord. It's because of the mercy of the Lord that I actually, at least I know when I'm going to die, and I know what to do now. Right. So when we are in adversity as well, we can remember the Lord. And Bali Maharaj, the same thing, when Vamanadev actually extended his feet across all the 14 planets, and then he was actually going out of the material universe as well, right? And Bali Maharaj doesn't have anything to offer. He was in that's a great adversity at the time. But what his thought process was that, dear Lord, you have given me such a punishment. Till now, no one has given me, neither my parents nor the teachers, right? But I have full faith that this is for my betterment, right? So that's how we should take the adversity. Right. So see, Krishna is our Krishna says, like, Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam. He is the well-wisher of everyone. Right. He doesn't have, he doesn't want to punish us unnecessarily. Right. So when he has that, when Krishna is our best friend, why would he create unnecessarily adversities for us? If there is an adversity, that means that is for our betterment only. Right. So we can show gratitude for that. And when the Lord intervenes, so the third point is when the Lord intervenes. This was actually, Parikshit Maharaj actually offering this to Sukadeva Goswami. He was saying that, I was about to die in 7 days, and in these 7 days, I don't know what to do. And you just like as if as an providence arrangement by providence, you just appeared. Right, this must be Lord's intervention. There's no other reason that there is no other way that your presence is here. Right, this must be Lord's arrangement. So what Parikshit Maharaj is saying, that Lord actually intervened. Okay, so that the devotees can advance further. So we should show our gratitude for Lord intervention. So likewise, there are so many incidents that happen in our life. right? When we remember, Lord's presence, Lord's hand in those, we should remember and we should show gratitude towards the Lord. And then the last one is opportunity to remember Krishna. So when we get an opportunity to remember Krishna, right? Again, Sukadev Goswami actually, offering, expressing, talking to Sukadev, Parikshit Maharaj talking to Sukadev Goswami. This actually comes in 10:12:43. The pious activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are very confidential. It is not ordinarily possible to hear such activities unless one is very, very fortunate, right? And, he's thanking the Lord just for the opportunity to hear about the Lord, right? Likewise, this Sravan Utsav that we are having all these days, even the existence of JOS, the existence of ISKCON, Prabhupada actually creating all these, infrastructure for us. We are very, very, very fortunate. If nothing else, we should actually pray to the Lord, at least gratifying that opportunity, for us to hear about Krishna every day, right? So this is how we can actually show the gratitude. So this is the second part of Sampradhanatmika prayer. So just to summarize, when we experience any prosperity, we can show gratitude. When we are in adversity, we can remember Lord. And when we feel the Lord's intervention in our life, we can show gratitude. And also when He gives us the opportunity to hear about Krishna, right? Then also we offer gratitude to the Lord. Okay, so that is the Sampradhanatmika prayer. So moving on to second element of the prayers is Dainya Bodhika. Dainya Bodhika is, we are actually asking Lord for forgiveness, and we are expressing our fallen condition to the Lord. Lord, I am fallen. My consciousness is contaminated. I am fallen. I need your help. Your mercy is required. Please, right? So when do we actually ask for forgiveness from the Lord? So when we have committed sin, right? When we have committed sin, or we have tons of it anyway, right? So we don't need to think of what sin I have committed. We have tons of it, so we can straight away ask for forgiveness, right? I have committed so much sin, right? Actually Ajamila, as soon as he realized, he begged Lord for forgiveness, that I have committed so many sins. Likewise for Jagai and Madai, as soon as they realized their mistakes, immediately they begged for forgiveness from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So likewise, we can ask for forgiveness. And second one is when we have committed an offense towards a Vaishnava, right? There are many offenses towards holy name, offenses towards the deities, offenses in temple environments. So there may be other offenses as well. So as soon as we come to know we have committed an offense, right, we should immediately beg for forgiveness of the Lord. Right? And this case, Durvasa Muni, who offended Parikshit Maharaj, he was running around. Even Lord Vishnu couldn't do anything. He said, I can't do anything, right? So you have to beg forgiveness from Amrish Maharaj. That is the only way you will be saved. And Amrish Maharaj immediately forgave him, right? So that's the thing. And then the next one is when we have committed neglectful dealings. Neglectful dealings, as in, we are supposed to respect our elders. We are supposed to respect the seniors. Where we are supposed to respect, but by accident or by even if it is intentional, as soon as we realize our mistake, we should beg for forgiveness, right? So that's another thing. And the last one is when we missed an opportunity, right? When that's also we must beg forgiveness from the Lord, right? Like Brahmanas in Vrindavan, near Vrindavan, Brahmanas are actually performing yajna, and Krishna actually sent his Gopa friends to ask for food. And Brahmanas say that no food, yajna was not done yet, we can't give any food. They asked them to go, but then Krishna sent them again, and this time Brahmana Patnis actually realized that, oh, Krishna is hungry. Okay, immediately they actually took some food out and then they offered to Krishna. And then after seeing, how merciful Krishna was towards Brahmana Patnis, Brahmanas realized that, oh, they have committed, they have missed a great opportunity, right? And immediately they begged for forgiveness, right? So likewise, so Dainya Bodhika means we should understand our fallen condition, and we should beg for forgiveness. So forgiveness when we have committed a sin, when we have committed an offense towards Vaishnavas, and when we have committed a neglectful dealing, or when we have missed an opportunity. Okay, so that's the second element of prayers. Right, the third element is lalsamai. Lalsamai is requesting for a benediction. Okay, so what do we want? Okay, so now you have glorified me. Yep, fine. Now you have expressed your fallen condition. Okay, now what do you want? Krishna is asking, what do you want? So that's when we express, what do we want? Okay, what should we ask? Nice car, nice house, aeroplane, things like that, right? So Acharyas actually suggest very nicely here. So we should request for a benediction for, so there are a few things here, suggestions here. One, we should request for association of the devotees. So that is the foremost benediction that we can ask for, right? In every scripture, wherever we do in-depth study, it is very clear that we cannot progress without pure devotee's mercy. Right, even Krishna is also actually, His Holiness Vedvyasa Swami Maharaj often says this, right? How do we satisfy Krishna? By satisfying one's spiritual master. How do you satisfy the spiritual master? By satisfying the devotees around you. So how do we satisfy the devotees around you? Only by association with them, right? So if you don't associate, we won't have an opportunity to satisfy them. Right, so that's why association is very, very, very important, right? And here actually in Dhruva Maharaj's pastime as well. So even though Dhruva Maharaj got the darshan of the Lord himself directly, right, he still had some hankering in him. And then he asked, when Lord asked, okay, what do you want? Then he asked again, yes, you have given me all the benedictions, right? But still, I want the association of the devotees, association of your devotees. So that is the final hankering, even after the darshan of the Lord, right? So that is the power of association of the devotees. Okay, and then the second thing that we can ask for is taste in chanting, a taste in bhakti. Right, oftentimes what happened is that we lose interest in chanting because we don't have any taste in it. Right, so what we can do, we can ask for taste in the chanting, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sikshastakam also, he asked, I don't want najanam, nadanam, I don't want everything, like I just want the taste in the name, right? So that's what he says. Okay, in the interest of time, I'll make it quick here. And the other thing we can ask for is seva, service, right? So we can ask for service. And next one we can ask for is purity of our intention. And purity of our, sometimes we have so much contamination in our thoughts, right? We can actually beg for purity in our intentions as well. So the third element of the prayer, lalsamai, what we can ask? We can ask for association of the devotees. We can ask for the taste in chanting and taste in bhakti. And we can ask for the service, devotional service, and we can ask for purity of our blessings, for purity of your intention. Okay, so those are that is the third element of the prayers, lalsamai. Okay. Okay, there are a few points, but I'll skip for now. All right, so coming back to our topic, so after, so you can actually read chapter 48, it's quite beautiful prayer that Akrura has done. And then in chapter 40, Krishna Book, chapter 40, you can read the original prayers Akrura has offered. That's what actually made him successful in his devotion, right? You can read that also in chapter 40 in Krishna Book. After the prayers were done, Krishna actually requested Akrura to visit Hastinapur. why Hastinapur, and he requested Akrura to actually go and inquire about Pandavas and Kunti Maharani. Because he came to hear that this weak-minded Dhritarashtra and his sons Duryodhana and all these guys, they started harassing Pandavas. So Krishna, as Paramatma, he can see, right? And he knew something is going on. And when the devotees are in distress, when they call out, he can hear from anywhere, right? And now he is sending Akrura to go and study what's happening there. Right. So with that, the the chapter ends, and so with that we'll stop here. And today, what we have learned is that Krishna is always eager to please his devotees, right? And he keeps his promises, even if they are material desires. Krishna first purifies them and makes them his devotee. So that's first thing. And second, we should not imitate Kubja's example and become Sahajiyas. We should not develop lusty desires towards the Lord. And the third one we have seen is that we have seen prayers are very powerful, and we have seen the three elements of prayer: Sampradhanatmika, glorification of the Lord, and expressing gratitude towards the Lord, and Dainya Bodhika, forgiveness for our fallen condition, and Lalsama is ask for benediction, and how we want to make progress in our spiritual life, right? So that's what we have learned today. With that, I'm done. Thank you. And any questions, please?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice class there. Very good explanation of how Lord Krishna pleases devotees, and also detailed explanation of the three types of prayers there. Thank you very much. Devotees, do we have? Has anyone got any questions on the second part of, or even on the first part? If you've had a question has come up. No, great, Prabhuji. Look, your explanation. Oh, Mantramala Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Got your hand up just in time, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class. When Akrura said, when Akrura said, Akrura told Krishna to come back to his home, he came after some time. But when Gopit asked Krishna to come back to Vrindavan, he did not turn back. Why it happened that way?
Yes. So yesterday, Pundarikaksh Prabhuji actually showed that verse, right? The Krishna's intention was to intensify the love,
Okay.
right? Gopis had that love, and he actually wanted to intensify that love towards him. So that's why actually he still intentionally staying away.
But he could have done the same thing to Akrura and others, right?
Yes, but Akrura and Kubja, their cases are different, because we can't compare their love for Krishna with Gopi's love towards Krishna.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.